Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Engineer Adantek. In this video, I'll be talking about all shortcuts in web development. I'll be using VS Code, Visual Studio Code, and I'll be using Chrome as my browser. Stay tuned from the beginning to the end of this video. I know you will enjoy it. Now, let's get started. Here in our desktop, we'll create a folder. Call this folder Web Shortcuts. Okay, hit enter. Then let's go to our VS Code. Then let's open new folder, new window. Now let's open the file we just created now. Then we just come to desktop and then we go to the file we just created right now, which is Web Shortcuts. Here, then we'll select folder. Here we go now. Okay, so I can just cancel this. Okay, the first, let me create index.html. So now let me be here and let me create a boilerplate. Here we go. Then let me say h1. Let me say hello world. So now I'm going to start with how to duplicate this number 10. So the first shortcut I will talk about is selecting something and duplicating it. For example, I want to select everything on this line and I want to duplicate this line to be up to 3 or 4. So I'm going to use I'm going to use shift and then alternate, and then I'll press down. This will enable me to multiply it as many as. The more I keep pressing it, the more it keep coming. So that is just how we can be able to multiply it. That is the first shortcut I'm going to use. So let me do it again. Shift Alt down. I'll be able to multiply this. Thank you for this first shortcut. Let me go to the next shortcut. The second shortcut I'm going to talk about is, okay, since I have H1, I want to select all this H1 here. I want to select them and change it to H2. I'm going to use the second shortcut, select and change. That is the name, select and change. So to select and change, I'm going to first of all highlight the one I want to select, H1, and then Ctrl and D. I'll be able to select. As you can see, I'm selecting them all, one after the other. Good. After selecting all of them, I can just change all of them at the same time by typing Ctrl D. By just typing H2, I've changed all of them at the same time, or even H3 or H4. I've changed everything all together. That is the second shortcut. Instead of changing them individually, I can just type Ctrl and D. I'll be able to select and then change it to whatever. I can select this hello world by highlighting on hello world and then press Ctrl D. I've highlighted this hello world. I can just quickly change this hello world to hi, and everything will change to hi immediately. That is what the Control and D does for us. Thank you for this shortcut. Let's go down to the next shortcut we have here. Now, I want to change this one to, I change this one to 5. So I change this one to 5. So I wanted to move this 5 to the last one. So let this 5, then let me say this one is 1. This one is 1. So, and this one is 2. This one is 2. So I want to move them all, so arrange it very well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this 1. Just click on it, just highlight it, and then click Alt, and then move it up. So what I use to move this in is called alternate. Just click your alternate, hold your alternate, and then move your arrow down. You'll be able to move it to wherever you want to move it. You can see I just moved it up, and I can just come here, highlight this number 5, and then I move it down. Then I can come and highlight this number 2, and then I can move it up to number 2. So this is how you can move your content to your elements to wherever you want to move them on your code editor, VS Code. I've showed you the third way, which is moving our elements by using Alt and then the arrow key up or down. You'll be able to move it to the location that you desire. Thank you for staying to the end of this shortcut number 3. Now, there are other shortcuts we need to know, and these shortcuts are very important for us to know about. The first one is using control. So when we have control, when we do control A, we use the comment, say Control A. When we do Control A, what we have? Control A, highlight all. Control A is going to highlight everything we have on the page. So that is Control A, highlight all. Control A, you're going to highlight everything. But what if we don't want to highlight everything? If we don't want to highlight everything, we can use Shift and arrow up and down. For example, we can say Shift, then we use arrow up or down. We'll be highlighting things, or up, we'll be highlighting things up. Once we press arrow up, it will highlight all the line again, highlight all the line again. That's how it's highlighting all the line, one after the other. That is for arrow up and down. If you move it down, it will highlight it down again and go. So you can also highlight this by tapping, using our right arrow key, right clicking, holding our right clicking, and then shifting our mouse small. This will enable us to highlight it. We can now shift our mouse up, down, up, down, up, down. Let me do it again. Hold down your left click button, and then hold it down, and then use your mouse, your hand, and hold your mouse. Then start moving your mouse to the left or to up or to down. It will enable you to highlight anything you want to highlight. But if you want to highlight the entire line, the entire line, just use shift and then arrow up. It will be highlighting your entire line, or down. Or if you want to highlight the entire page, just do Ctrl A. It will help to highlight the entire page. So this is just what we have for the first one, highlight. Remember, you can use Ctrl A to highlight all, or use shift arrow key up or down to highlight the entire line, or you just hold your left click button and then use your mouse and highlight up or down. These is the 3 ways you can do your highlighting anything in your HTML boilerplate. Thank you. Now, another one I'm going to talk about is Ctrl B. And that one I'm going to talk about is Ctrl B. Ctrl B is removing your boilerplate. So when I press Ctrl B, my boilerplate is gone. Ctrl B again, my boilerplate is back. So remember, this is your Explorer. This is your Explorer. We can expand our Explorer like this. We can expand it anyhow we want it. And this is our boilerplate. This is our boilerplate. And what we do, okay, let me say Ctrl B and Ctrl W. So let me do for both. When I press Ctrl W, I'm going to close down my boilerplate. So I press Ctrl W. I'm going to come back here and press HTML. Boilerplate is back. Then to close down my Explorer, I'm going to press Ctrl B. I've closed down my Explorer. Ctrl B again. My Explorer is back. So I can just press Ctrl B and Ctrl V. I close down everything. But if I press Ctrl B back and click here, everything will be back. So this is for Ctrl B and Ctrl W for closing down our boilerplate and also closing down our Explorer. Thank you for this one. I'm going to bring another one to you shortly. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is Ctrl C. I'm going to talk about Ctrl C, then also Ctrl X and Ctrl V. So what do we do on this? Ctrl C is used to copy. For example, I can just highlight this and do Ctrl C. I've copied it. Then I come down here and do Ctrl V. I've pasted it. So Ctrl C here is used to copy. While Ctrl V is used to paste. So we use Ctrl C to copy anything, but make sure you highlight it before you can be able to copy it. Once you highlight, you copy with Ctrl C. Then when you want to paste, you paste with Ctrl V. So let me repeat this again. I said I can just come here and highlight everything and do Ctrl C. I've copied this now. I can come to down here and say Ctrl V. I've pasted it. That is just how to copy and to paste. Now, what of this Ctrl X? Ctrl X is if I want to copy this thing and I don't want it to be here. That means I want to cut it out. So I can just highlight it and say Ctrl X. I've cut it out. I can just come here and do Ctrl V to paste it. That means I don't want it to be here any longer. I want to move it out of this place entirely. Not just copying it, but I don't want it to be found any longer here. That is the difference between Ctrl X and Ctrl C. Control C, if I copy with Control C, it's still going to be here. But if I copy with Control X, I'm cutting it out of that place. It's no longer going to be there. So we can say that Control C is to copy, while Control X is for cut. We cut it out from that place and paste it in another place. Both of them can paste, but both of them, the first one Control C cut, while the second one Control X cut, while Control C copy. We copy with Control C and we cut with Control X. Then we paste with Control V. Thank you for this one. I'm going to bring another one shortly. Thank you. Next one I'm going to talk about here is going to be Control F. So we can say we have Control F, which is find, which is something as find. So what do we do with it? It's used to find a particular item. So for example, if I do Control, let me say I have H1 here. So I have something, I have mango here. So I can just come type Control F. Now I want to find this mango, or let me just be here. Let me just say, let me delete this and let me just say Control F. Nothing is there. I'll just type what I want, mango. Once I type see what I want, it's going to highlight it. If I type H1, it's going to highlight all H1 on my boilerplate, anywhere that H1 is found. So if I say head, it's going to find wherever head is found. So that is just what Control F does for us, just to find a particular thing in our code. Thank you for this one. We're going to head down to the next one. Okay, another one is Control J. Control J is what we use to open a new terminal. Control J. So when you press Control J, a new terminal is going to open. Control J. As you see, I just opened a new terminal where I can be able to check my Node.js code and other back-end code here on the terminal. So that is Control J for you. So thank you for staying for this one. I'm going to bring another one. Alright, another one I'm going to bring to you is Control O. Control O, I'm going to use Control O to open a file. Control O, I just opened a file. I want to bring in a file here. So I can just press Control O and then come to the desktop and then click on this and then click on this and then click on this. I cannot open a folder, it must be a file. So it must be a file. I'll just click it and your file is open here. Maybe I want to use this file to copy something from this file. I want to copy and compare something from this file to what I'm working on. And I don't want to open another window here. So this is going to be important for me to do Control O, and I can be able to open this file here. As I open this file, I can just drop it here and copy what I want to copy, which I can use it for copy it and come to this place and use it for my code. So Control O is very important when you are coding and you don't want to start opening another folder here or opening another folder here. So you can just do Ctrl O and import that particular file direct here. And when you are done, you can do like this and get it. Take a remove it from here. And when you are done, you can just remove it from here, and that is that. So this is just how we can be able to bring a file to our workspace and then do something with it. Thank you for staying on this one. I'm going to bring another one to you. This one is going to be Control N. Control N. So what do we do here in Control N? Control N. So Control N is also to open, for this time around, I'm opening a file that I can write something on it. I can write something on it and I can just use it to, maybe I can use it to jot down some things. That's just what this one does. So let me go back to what we have here. So that's just what Control N is used for. So without wasting much of our time, I'm going to go down to the last one which we have here, Control. I'm going to say this one is going to be Control Z. So, and also Control Z and Control Y. So Control Z is what we call undo, while Control Z is undo, while Control Y is redo. For example, if I press Control Z, I'm going to undo what I just did. For example, I wrote everything here and I delete it. I say, oh, this is a mistake. I just do Control Z, it will come back. And when I say, oh, I actually wanted to delete it, so I just click back Control Y. It will still going to redo what I just undo. So that is just what Control Y and Control Z. Make sure you use it. When you make mistake, you can just do undo or redo. It's going to recall back what you have done earlier, or you undo is going to bring back what you have deleted. For example, if I do Control Z, I'm going to bring back this, and if I keep doing Control Z, I'm going to be bringing back the things I've deleted. And if I do Control Y, it's going to take me back to the current place I was. That's just what we have for Control X and Control Y. So these are the shortcuts we have in web development. I advise you go through them one after the other and try to understand them, starting from the first one, the Control A, the Control B, the Control W, the Control C, X and V, Control F, Control J, Control U, Control N, Control Z and Control Y. These are the things you're going to go through, and these things are going to help you while you are doing your web development. Finally, remember you can use function and an arrow key to increase your brightness or reduce your brightness. Thank you for staying to the end of this video. My name still remains Engineer Dantec. See you on another episode of Code with Dantec on YouTube.